At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
Three, two, one. Yo! What's going on, Razorback fans? SEC fans everywhere, welcome to the one and only Pig Trail Network YouTube channel. I'm Ty Hudson, the owner and the creator of the PTN. Thank you guys so much for being here. Remember to like the stream. Subscribe. Damn, this thing is not wanting to move. Good Lord. It's like brand new. Well, semi brand new. The mic boom here, you can't really. Hey, this is the same one Rogan uses, right? Isn't it? All right. Anyways, welcome. Make sure you guys share and subscribe. You know what to do. How's the helmet? Is it in view there? I don't think it is. Let's put the mic here. There we go. There it is in all of its chrome glory. Yeah, so I wanted we're going to talk really the problem with giving these shows their own names is that this really, I should have just called it the jam-packed Wednesday Razorback show. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Arkansas's a little bit of the matchup tonight. They've got a game this fine evening. We're going to get into the men's game tonight. We're going to grade. Yeah, I want to grade the Razorbacks, or maybe not grade, but just kind of talk through what we've seen in these 10 games and what we've liked, what we haven't liked. Ridgeway, as far as I know, I think he's the only Razorback that has a Senior Bowl invite to the Reese's Senior Bowl. He won't be the last. I know they're not done. They can't be done. There's no way Cunningham, Mo Brown, Morgan, maybe Poole gets an invite. I mean, I know there's someone I'm leaving out. Maybe no, Tyson Morris won't. But there's so many names that could be thrown in. Arkansas's how many seniors? 22, 23 seniors, 11 super seniors. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be more. There will be more. So we'll get into that in just a second. But yeah, make sure you guys check out all the links provided for you down below in the description box. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Make sure, again, if you do share the content, that we're up to what, 8 likes. So yeah, let's get the likes up. Come on now. Let's get the likes. Dude, take that like button and give it a choke slam. Give it the tombstone pile driver. We haven't done a wrestling power move on the like button in a minute, or we haven't talked about it. So let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get everything. All my stuff here is kind of cluttered on my desk. I'm trying to make sure I have everything in front of me that I need. I did the first like, Ty. You go, John Pig Suey. I see you. Boom, I'm here. John Hawes. It's not the same without you, man. Grant Patrick says, "What's up, you idiots?" in all caps. Okay. Scott Wendell, I rarely get these notifications. Glad I got one. Yeah, me too. I am too. I'm glad you got it. What's up, Ty? What's up, Shahid Mustafa? How you doing, man? Let's get into it. Let's do it. Yeah, we're going to do it. Absolutely. I just want to say sincerely, I apologize for switching my focus to basketball season after the Auburn loss. I was wrong. I'm all back into football. Let's get 9 wins this season. So many people. And look, there's still people gone, by the way. There's still people that are kind of already over it, though. Yeah, all right. Well, we're not going to go 11-1, so I'm not real thrilled with the season. I'm kind of over it. Look, they're rare. They're not as common. They're not speaking out as much on social media these days. But Grant, hey, thank you for, you know what, saying I shouldn't have. I jumped off the bandwagon a little too quick. I shouldn't have. And you owned up to it. Listen, how many times people have come into the chat and they're just so like, whatever hot take they have, and look, we're all guilty of having hot takes. I have them occasionally as well. But they don't ever come back and own up to them. So congrats and thank you and good stuff, and pat yourself on the back, Grant. That's good. Eric Fountain says Trey Williams. Oh, talking about Senior Bowl. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me either way if he got an invite to the Senior Bowl or not. The restaurant is no longer closed, and by that I meant I changed jobs. Oh, I hope it's going well, man. Shooter Race Gaming says I haven't been in here in a while. I've been busy with school. Glad to be back. All right, well, welcome back. I wish Arkansas had hunting camouflage uniforms and helmets. They teased. They have some camo merch. I saw that when we were at the spring game, right? The red-white. It was the actual red-white game, and Alex, my neighbor, and myself, we were leaving, and we dropped by. We went by the store there inside Bud Walton, and they had a hog camo helmet. One of those, kind of like this, only bigger, like this right here. I've got a couple of these. I've got this one. I've got the smaller one right there. That one right there is like that one right there. See where my finger? Oh Lord, that's weird to do backwards. Holy crap! That one right there. It was that, but it was camo. I hadn't seen a camo one like that in a while, so I wasn't sure if they stopped manufacturing them and then they brought them back. I don't know. The Hogs basketball team has camo unis. What? No, they don't. You're full of it, Eric. Are you talking about like just to sell, like merch? Or are you saying like they're going to wear camo unis? I don't know if that would look good or not. I don't know. All right, remember, share the content. Feel free to tag me. I'd appreciate it if you did tag me, if you follow me on Twitter. By the way, you need to follow me on Twitter. You can see it right there, Pig Trail Network, right underneath the sub and like that my boy Will made for me, that new red wall right here. This is weird. Right here. Right down there is the Pig Trail Network Twitter handle, and make sure you guys follow me there. And yeah, make sure you include me if you share. But I do appreciate you guys. I know Hawes is really good about it. Tonka Todd, if he's in chat, he's usually sharing it. Kelly Marie, when she's able to make these, she shares the content. So I do appreciate it. Okay. We've given you guys plenty of time to get in here. How about starting with, did you guys like, I finally put Cam on the cover. Someone DM'd me a while back and said, bro, you need to put Cam on the cover. And I'm like, it's hard. You won't believe how hard it is to find a good picture to kind of not Photoshop, but to work with on Photoshop. You'd be surprised how hard they are to find. Sometimes they're too small and the image just looks crappy. All right. How about SCC candidates for the 2021 Broyles Award? This is the nation's top assistant. Look at Cody Kennedy go. Look at him go, man. He takes the job over when in June when Brad Davis bolts for LSU. Oh, I shouldn't laugh, but how's that working out for you, Brad? Brad, how dare you? No, I'm kidding. You can't. I mean, look, he went home. He went back to his home. He was the second assistant to do that. Step did it. He's at South Carolina. And Brad Davis did it. He's at LSU, and woof. Not like Arkansas went down there and beat the shit out of LSU, but they did win, and LSU's it's gonna be tough for them just to make a bowl game this year. So I don't know. I like what they're doing on defense, though, man. With them playing like that, anything could happen. I mean, they were really within arm's length against Bama, and you could make the argument that they probably should have beaten Arkansas or definitely played good enough to win that game. But, yeah, Kennedy killing it right now. Nation's top assistant. Arkansas's got one of the premier run offenses in the country, and they're doing that in large part because they can hurl 500 pounds of dude at you, of a couple of dudes between KJ Jefferson, Dominic Johnson, and then you look at the rest of the backfield. Raheem Sanders, who's dealing with another injury, by the way. I don't know. I haven't. I'll be honest. I listened to Sam's interview Monday, but I was in the middle of. I was at the mall, actually. I went to the mall. I bought some new stickers, or I was looking at buying some new custom stickers to hand out if and when I finally make it out to maybe Bud Walton or to the football game against Mizzou. I want to go to that game, and I want to go there, and I kind of want to hand out stickers, and I want to have them ready. So I was doing some pricing. I was at the mall. I ate in the area there, the dining area, and at the NWA Mall, listening with my headphones on to Sam Pittman talk about, just doing his regular interview. So I don't know what the deal is with Raheem. I think he kind of briefly mentioned that he was banged up. So, yeah. But, okay, so this offensive line, though, deserves so much credit. And we know how this works. They're the first to get blamed when a quarterback's getting pressured or they didn't play great against Georgia. They definitely didn't play well against LSU. But, I mean, it's kind of understandable given the circumstances, right? Those were both road games, tough environments against, let's be honest, really solid talent, 4- and 5-star caliber talent. There's no doubt LSU recruits about as well as Georgia. But, like we talked about on Monday, there's a difference between incoming talent, recruited talent on paper, right? The 4 and 5 stars, and then the developed talent. And obviously LSU's a little bit behind in that department. They're having to play a lot of younger guys. They're banged up. But still they struggled against LSU's very aggressive multiple looks that they were showing up front. And they didn't handle it well. It ended up having to be the KJ show. It ended up like KJ finally figured this thing out in the second half and just decided, you know what, I'm just not going to be sacked today. That's ultimately why you won that game. It wasn't because of the O-line. But other than that, the other 8 games this year, this offensive line has been fantastic. And Cody Kennedy deserves just an ass ton of credit, man. I mean, how much work this guy has done. You could maybe make the argument that he took over a group of guys that are, experienced, some seniors and a whole lot of experience back. And, of course, you've got Ricky Stromberg, who might be the best center in the SEC or one of the top 3 centers in college football, depending on who you ask. Mel Kiper, I don't think. Mel Kiper's kind of been he's not been real high on last time I looked, I don't even think he had him on his top 10 interior lineman list. But again, depending on who you ask, he is one of the premier interior offensive linemen, especially in the SEC. So maybe it's some of that, but I think a lot of it, Cody Kennedy deserves a ton of credit. I mean, I don't know. I was hesitant considering the timing. Arkansas had a lot of things happen during the offseason that it was just really bad timing. Mike Woods leaving after after the final week of spring camp. Like literally the day after he was gone, went to Oklahoma. Remember, we talked about that. Like, man, that timing is weird. But you understand, too, now looking back, I get it. These receivers they're not going to be thrown to a whole hell of a lot compared to what Lincoln Riley does at Oklahoma. So that had an impact in what Oklahoma can do, what they're capable of doing. And, of course, you had Spencer Rattler, who at the time was considered a Heisman candidate. Boy, that seems like a lifetime ago. So you understand, like they had a lot of things during the offseason that just poor timing. Brad Davis bolting, not long after that, Brad Davis bolts for LSU. And I didn't know what to think about Kennedy taking over. I wasn't too concerned. And then the other part of this too is, without a doubt, Sam Pittman, has played a huge role into what Arkansas does up front on the offensive line. There's no doubt about that. Like, I'm sure Sam probably spent more time with Coach Kennedy in the film room and working with the linemen than he did any other position. I don't know. Then again, maybe not. I think Sam has kind of gone both ways on that, talking about it with the media. But I feel like maybe he doesn't realize it. Maybe it's one of those things where you just don't realize it. But I feel like he probably spent a lot of time with the offensive linemen in their film room and during their drills and everything, keeping an eye on who kind of stands out and who doesn't, and giving his preference to Coach Kennedy. Like, here's who I like. Here's the group of guys I like. Do with them with what you will. I don't know to what capacity Sam Pittman was involved, but it makes you wonder, maybe he did play a bigger role. But also at the same time, you got to give Kennedy a lot of credit. Got to give him a lot of credit. He's done really well. Yeah. I am a little bit surprised that Michael Schur didn't make that list, because I got to say, man, you guys know we've talked so much about what happened at the linebacker spot during the offseason. I really liked what they were doing there, and then they demote a guy, and then they promote Michael Schur, who was kind of the assistant linebacker coach a year ago, more or less, I guess was his role with the defense a year ago, or was he an analyst on defense? I can't remember what exactly his role was in 2020. He steps in, man, and the linebackers – in fact, you can argue that considering again, the schedule and how, again, just kind of what's been happening up front, the fact that they've run they've not been multiple on defense this year up front. It's been 80% three-man front this year, right? Outside of Rice, I want to say maybe a few series against A&M, they kind of ran a more aggressive, kind of a forefront, some multiple looks there against the Aggies. But it's been mostly a three-man front. Auburn, they played a four-man front. LSU, we saw some multiple looks. They were much more aggressive, I think, defensively than they've been. But then again, it seems like everyone now is starting to play a little bit more aggressive in the second half of the season so far in the SEC. But I am surprised that Michael Schur didn't make that list, because the linebackers have been phenomenal. Grant Morgan, I think he's playing banged up. Sam Pittman had talked about I think he talked about Bumper Pool actually playing banged up again. It's probably broken ribs, I don't know, like last year, and we didn't find out until fall camp. So Tarl McKinney says Coach Kennedy is good, no doubt, but the top assistant title is not justified. The O-line is good, but it's not like they are leaps and bounds better than where they were before he got here. I'm probably going to have to disagree with that. Now, I get what you're saying, Tarl. I don't completely disagree. But I do disagree with it to some extent. When you look at the numbers, right? When you look at where they're at as a rushing offense, they're a top elite rushing offense in the country. They're number 6. Now, last week, going into the LSU game, you were number 4. You don't get there with even just average O-line play. I think they have made pretty big improvements up front in the run game. Pass blocking, I think KJ's near the bottom in terms of how many times he's been sacked this year, but you also have to consider the kind of offense that you run with the RPO and how you kind of look at that. Like, you set yourself up to be in position to be sacked more when you're running out of the RPO, and maybe you decide to keep the ball and the defense doesn't bite on the play fake. So you set yourself up for an opportunity to be in a lot of trouble really quick. I would argue that the offensive line has been, I'm not going to say night and day better, but they are much better than where they were at a year ago. Now, I agree. They're not I don't know that I would say leaps and bounds. I agree with that. I don't know that I would say they're leaps and bounds better, but they are. I think they're pretty well improved from a year ago. And I do think he inherited a pretty solid, experienced group of guys. We'll see. I wonder what they do with him in the offseason. How they work his contract. I wonder if they give him a fat bonus or what. You kind of feel like there's going to be a lot of guys getting bonuses this year. And then Tarl says, yeah, he inherited 4 solid linemen. None of them is great. Stromberg's pretty damn good. I guess Ricky is the best, but you put a big nose on him and he gets beat a lot. I don't know. I get where you're coming from on that, but I haven't seen him get dominated very much. I have seen them overwhelm. When you look at Georgia and LSU were 2 good examples. Mississippi State did a pretty good job of kind of overwhelming the interior offensive line. What you're seeing a lot of defenses do is you're seeing them like stack in between the guard and the center. You're seeing a D lineman either go nose up with Stromberg or they're trying to play that gap, and they'll bring someone in right behind him. And they're trying to come, and you get why they're doing it, because Arkansas really is a north-south running offense. That's what they are. They're power run. It likes to run in between the guard and the tackle. If Odom leaves, I would love to steal LSU's defensive coordinator, to be honest, after watching a lot of film and all things considered. I think Dow is going to be a solid OC. Okay. Pool playing with broken ribs. Okay, no. Last year, we found this out in the fall camp. Sam Pittman told the media, like the first or second week of fall camp, that Bumper Pool had been playing with broken ribs last season since Mississippi State. So no, he's not this year. No, he's not playing as far as I know. But Sam Pittman did kind of allude to some guys playing banged up, and I'm pretty sure he mentioned Pool playing with I'm pretty sure he mentioned that he was banged up. That's insane. I've had broken ribs. Hard to breathe. I was stepped on in high school football against the Springdale freaking Red Dogs. Player stepped right on me, and I truly don't believe he did it on purpose. It was kind of like towards the end of it was a sophomore year, so it would have been 1999, right? And I swear I still feel it. Like if I push on my ribs, I still feel it. It still hurts. So I can imagine what broken ribs feel like. I have no idea. Yeah, Poole played with broken ribs last year. He sure did, since Mississippi State. Isn't that insane? And look at the numbers he put up. Look at the numbers that guy put up. It's insane. So, yeah. Kudos to Cody Kennedy. Look, man, I'm going to give him props. I really am. I think he deserves it. I think he deserves it. I do think some of it, again, he inherited, but good for him. All right, Treylon Burks. This is going to be a heated topic here. I know so many people are passionate about Treylon Burks. I know there are some people in Discord that were upset by this. Burks doesn't make the short list for the best wide receiver in the country award, which is the Blitnikoff. The 2021 Blitnikoff Award semifinalists are as follows: Jordan Addison at Pitt, David Bell at Purdue. David Bell at Purdue does not surprise me at all. He came in this season pretty highly rated. Jahan Dodson, Penn State. Josh Downs, North Carolina. Drake London at USC, another name that doesn't surprise me. Another name that doesn't surprise me is Chris Olave at Ohio State. He's regarded as probably the top receiver in this draft. A.T. Perry at Wake Forest. Jareth Stearns at Western Kentucky. Devin Tompkins at Utah State. Jamison Williams at Alabama. This is what I hate about these awards. Look, I've talked about it here. I kind of root for smaller teams. I root for the non-P5s because I think they're a part of what makes college football so special. You don't really have, like the NFL, obviously, which is 32 teams or whatever. In college football, you have 130 teams. I think those smaller schools, they help make college football fascinating. You get these huge upsets. Boise State over Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. You guys remember that? What year was that? 03? 02, 03. Appalachian State over Michigan. Now Arkansas fans won't like it, but Louisiana Monroe over Arkansas was that in Little Rock? That was in Little Rock, wasn't it? They've had several of those, and unfortunately that sucks, and it stings you in the ass when you talk about it. I get it. It still burns me up, and I still want a revenge game. I still want to play them just to beat the shit out of them like 55-0. But those players are long gone, and that coaching staff long gone. But they do make college football, except for Razorback fans under those circumstances. We can go back to the Chad Morris era, those losses as well. I think they make college football interesting. What I don't like is when they play shit schedules, right? They don't play the level of talent that SEC teams play, that Big 12 or Big 10 plays, ACC or Big 12. And you guys know how I feel about the Big 12. I've always thought it is the most top-heavy conference in college football. And I don't know who's worse, them or the ACC. I do think Oklahoma will be competitive in the SEC. No doubt in my mind that Oklahoma is going to be competitive. I don't know about Texas. They're going to come in possibly. Well, I don't know. It just depends on when they actually enter the league. But if it takes a couple of years, the way how much hate Sarkisian's getting, he may not last. But it burns me up when you hear names from guys like Devin Tompkins at Utah State. He's the only one, but I have seen years where you've got like 2 or 3 of those guys make the short list. Compare who has defended him. I don't even know what the hell league they're in. What conference is Utah State in? They're not. It's not Conference USA. It's one of the. It's non-P5. Compare that to what someone like Burks lines up against week in and week out. Now, the reason why he doesn't make the Blitnikoff Award semifinalist, guys, because it's a stat-heavy award, and he doesn't have the best stats. And you look at LSU, not a very good game for him. Probably one of the worst of the year, if I remember right. That and Rice. Rice was not very good for him either, and he got off to kind of a slow start. It's a stat-heavy award. That's why he's not on the Blitnikoff. You want to talk about pure talent? There's no doubt in my mind he's on the short list for that, if that were the case. But this isn't the draft, right? They're not taking a guy just based on, similar to maybe the high. Well, I want to say the Heisman. The Heisman is stat-based, but it's also like, let's be honest, how many wins you have and how prestigious your program is and all that. There's a lot more that goes into it. The Blitnikoff is of all the awards, of all the trophies, I think it's the most stat-heavy trophy, one of them. And that's why he's not there. Burks has, on the year, 52 catches, 815 yards. I think it's 9 total touchdowns, but I have 8 written down. I get why he's not on it. I don't know why people are so angry about it. Look, if he had, if we're talking 60-plus catches, right, okay, he needs to be on that list. And maybe there are some guys on that list who don't have 52 catches for 815 yards and 8 touchdowns. I don't know. But from what I understand about the award, as long as it's been around, it's mostly a stat-heavy award. I get being a little frustrated. I get it. Burks was phenomenal this year. He's a big deal, and he's possibly a first-round draft pick. ULM beat Bama in 06 too. Yeah, I remember they had a couple. Was it 06? Yeah, it was. I think I remember that. Saban's first year, right? What up, Tide? Roll Tide. Oh, okay, just kidding. It's going to be tough, but Arkansas has to score. Yeah, well, Michael, we'll get on that on Friday, buddy. Thank you, though. It's not all about stats. TV is the best. No, it's mostly, okay? Like I said, it's not all about stats, but it's mostly about stats, okay? Make no mistake about it. That's what that award is. Hopefully Isaiah, the commit, stays with the Hogs. Well, Arkansas is his third stop because it was, who was it? A&M, then Oregon, now us. I feel like he signs. I think he signs in December too. KB is scaring top wide receiver talent away from Arkansas. KB needs to go. Sorry, but true. Are you kidding? What are you talking about? You've got 2 highly rated 4-stars. What are you talking about, Michael? Come on, man. Oh, so they're in the Mountain West Conference. Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. You said my name and Arn geeked out. Oh, that's so cute. So, yeah, he doesn't make that list. Maybe that changes. Maybe he could do something about that. And remember, well, I guess not. I think actually this is it, right? Is this their final cut? Can you be added from this point on? I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't. I don't know why you would wait till let's wait till 10 games and then we're done. That doesn't make sense. It needs to be the entire season. I think that's how it goes. I think that's it. I think that's their semifinal list. So I don't think anyone else can be added at this point. So Arkansas has also moved back into the AP poll. They're number 21, and they're in the USA Today Coaches Poll at number 22. The Razorbacks have also moved up in the latest college football playoff ranking. They check in at number 21 on the committee's rankings after being 25th in the country last week. Let's see. Current four-star offensive tackle Andrew Chambly, I think it's Chambly, but I just like being fancy when I say his last name, has been added to the High School All-American Bowl. The list of Razorback commits making the prestigious game up to now is 4. Isaiah Centenia being one. Miles Rouser, the 4-star safety out of Michigan, is another. Eli Stein, the highly touted long snapper. Look, I don't think I'm going to question anymore their special. I'm not a big fan of giving 2 special teams guys offers in the same year. Not a fan of that. One, okay, like Little last year made sense. Definitely made sense. It's easy to say, right? Here I am, Mr. Captain Hindsight over here. But they've got 2 this year. But Eli Stein is going to the All-American Bowl, and now Andrew Chambly, or as I call him, Andrew Chambly. So that is 4. I don't know that that's ever happened in Razorback football history. I really don't. I know I think they had a couple of years where they had 3. Maybe it was 2 or 3. But 4, in 3 of them, I mean, again, you're talking about a receiver, a safety, and a tackle. That's pretty big. So congrats to them. The first half against LSU was brutal to watch, and that's not all LSU. It's play calling. Yeah, I just, I don't understand the Kendall Briles hate. I don't get it. It's like some people just have short-term memory loss or something. I don't know. In 2 years, he's built a top 20 total offense. And we've got people that are like, yeah, fire him now. Listen, we're not Ohio State, okay? We're not the Oklahoma Sooners. We're not Alabama. The Razorbacks are still, like, they've done a great job. Sam Pittman has done a fantastic job. But Kendall Briles, and I have been a critic of some of his play calling, yes. But, Michael, with comments like that, you're taking away the fact. We also now know Raheem Sanders wasn't 100%. That's why we saw Traylon Smith and not Raheem. It was at Death Valley at 6:30. May not have been a sellout crowd, but, man, 40,000 people in there can be as loud as Little Rock. Okay? That's a loud, hostile environment. Wasn't the best play calling. That's probably one of his worst games that he's called, and yet they still found a way to win. Now, not because of him. I would argue the special teams, the fake on special teams was huge. Defense was huge. It was a game where they bailed them out. Who was it that said it? Was it Poole or Morgan told the media, the offense has bailed us out. We figured it was our turn. Did you hear that? The offense has been at the tipping point of almost all your wins this year. Make no mistake about it. The majority of your wins are because of what you've gotten out of KJ Jefferson, Treylon Burks, Dominic Johnson, Traylon Smith to some degree, Raheem Sanders, right? Tyson Morris stepping up in special moments. Trey Knox being moved to tight end. Blake Kern figuring out how to catch a football. but a lot of those improvements are reflective of what Kendall Browse has done with the offense. I just do not understand the crowd that wants him gone now. Maybe they can do better. I don't know. Maybe they can. But why would you risk that? Why would you risk what you have and what's working? You have 7 wins. You're looking at 8-4. And a big reason for that is because of what you've been able to accomplish on the offensive side of the football, Michael. Like I get, listen, I've been just as critical about his first down play calling, about his third down play calling. You're one of the worst third down offenses. You're one of the lower scoring offenses in the SEC. I've been critical of his situational play calling. I was talking with QB Spotlight the other day, and I said there's no real diversity in his play calling. There's no diversity. It's like we're gonna be the most Houston Nutt looking offense you've ever seen, only we're running it out of the RPO. And for those of you who remember and you're old enough, Houston Nutt was stubborn. He ran the ball in between the tackles every single time. It was so boring and predictable. Kendall has become predictable, but at the same time, he's gotten results most of the season. So I would understand if they weren't winning ball games. I would understand if they weren't putting up the kind of numbers they're doing on the ground. If they weren't a top 20 total offense, if we weren't getting the kind of improvement. Who do you credit KJ Jefferson's improvement to? I'll wait because he was here. Remember who recruited him. Remember who he played under his freshman year. I'll wait. Who was it? Who's been here the majority? Who's responsible for his development? Sure, KJ's a natural, great athlete. But who's the man at the helm driving the ship on offense? Who's the guy that has a reputation for developing quarterbacks? And you just want to run that off and fire it? I don't get it. I don't get it. I have no problem. If someone wants to be skeptical of some of what he's done this year, I'm on board with that. But to be like, get rid of him, he is the problem, is the most asinine, crazy bullshit I've ever seen. Like, what are you talking about? All right. I'm not saying fire KB. I'm saying in time he's gonna need to go bye-bye. Okay. Anyways, how soon we forget the tail end of Brett final 2 years? Yeah, or Chad Morris. It's crazy to me. It's like all of a sudden we start winning, and now it's like no, hold on. Yeah, we've made improvements, but that guy in due time he's gonna have to go. Of course, he's gonna take a job. I highly doubt that he leaves here being fired. He's going to take another job. He's either going to be a head coach or maybe he gets offered at a bigger school to be an OC. He has some golden plays in his playbook. It's just 3 runs in a row and punt is what kills me. Right, and I agree with that. A third down and short. We have long developing play behind. I've never understood third and short and you're lining up in shotgun. I've never understood that. Maybe that's the old school way of thinking. I just don't understand that, but everybody does that. If that's what you want, then we gotta get receivers that can get open. Exactly. State doesn't go downfield often. Like I said, they don't have a receiver too. I do think they've had a couple of guys step up, then they kind of disappear, and we'll see what happens with these final 3 games. But they've got an issue there, though. There's no one else that's reliable at the wide receiver 2 spot. The penalties jack up play calling too. Penalties have killed them. The penalties have absolutely killed them. Dalton Wagner, I don't know how many false starts that guy has this year. Penalties have killed us this year. Yes, they have. Yeah, I'm not on the fire KB board. I'm going to be glad to see him go. If they can replace him with someone, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there is someone better, but I'm not on board with firing him right now. I'm not on board with that. Now, if next year he does manage to come back, let's say they have him back on a really good deal for him for a 1-year thing, and it's like, okay, we're going to do this at least a third year. We're going to give you a third-year option. He takes it. I forgot what his contract, what it looks like, but let's say he's back and he has a bad year and they're not good on offense. They take big steps backwards. Then, yeah, obviously it's time to move on. But based on what we've seen this year, I don't understand the mentality of I think KB sucks. I don't understand that mentality. I don't get it. I just don't. It puzzles me, man. Again, I don't think it's fair to just with a blanket statement to say he's terrible or whatever, without looking at the positives that have come from this year, right? You have to consider it all. I'm doing that by recognizing he has some faults. There are some issues. Again, I've been talking about his situational awareness for weeks here. And it's look. I mean, I'll admit that, hey, look, John Ridgeway, I was wrong on Ridge. I wasn't sure what to think on Ridge. Wasn't sure. I knew he had moments, but look how much better he's played over the last several weeks. Look how much improvement he's made over the last several weeks. I'll own up to it. But right now, I think the KB stuff, I think, is pretty accurate in that I want him back for year 3. I want him back, and I think it would be a mistake to not make an effort to keep him for another year. Or to not try and keep him for another year. All right, we're going to do one bowl projection really quick. CBS, Jerry Palm has Arkansas playing in the Music City Bowl against Wisconsin. That's a December 30th game at 2 p.m., which I'm sure we've talked about here before. But yeah, I'd take that. Why not? I wouldn't mind the Music City. I don't know, man. I'm not one of these who gets upset about I'm just glad we're going bowling. I'm not someone who's going to get pissy about well, it's not in Florida. Look, yeah, you want a bigger and better bowl, sure. But year 2, a lot of people said Arkansas would be lucky to make a bowl, right? You had a lot of people saying that. And now you're looking at 8-4 and making a pretty damn good bowl. But yeah, Jerry Palm has Arkansas going to the Music City Bowl on December 30th. I was going to go over a list of a few of them, but we do that every week. We'll reconvene. We'll probably talk about bowl projections every week from here on out. But, yeah. Arkansas basketball. The Hawks face off tonight against Northern Iowa. The Panthers, who are currently 1-2. That game is at Bud Walton. I love that basketball's back. Yes. More content for me, and I love basketball. I'm so excited for this year. You guys know that. I can't contain it. I'm so excited. But, yeah, this will be an interesting test. But, yeah, I mean, they're – okay, look, the Panthers are 1-2. They have losses to Nichols and Vermont. They did beat a team whose name I can't even pronounce, Dubequa. I think it's Dubeq. The Spartans. They beat them 95-58, so they have shown that they could score. I got to keep an eye on 6'9", 250-pound forward Austin Fife. He's been pretty solid for them this year. He's averaging 11 points, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds per game. The Razorbacks are doing something a little bit different tonight. I don't know if you guys caught this, but this is interesting. Eric Musselman, so he put this on Twitter. Let me pull this up. I'll share my screen with you, you lovelies. Look at this. Check this out. All right, we're going to minimize that. Look at these. Tomorrow night shoe theme is the 2022 signing class joining the Razorback, and each one it's got their names on it. Oh, of course you're going to look at that. Oh, that's sexy too. Look at the slobbering hog down there. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Joseph Pinions. Darian Ford. Here's the back of them. Isn't that sweet? Damn, that's sick. Don't like that. No, we can get rid of that right there. No, sir. Get rid of that. Don't like the forward-facing hog. That's disgusting. That shoe, I'm sorry. That you throw that in the fire. I hate that forward-facing hog. But this is sexy. Why do that? Why? I didn't even notice that before. Why put the forward-facing hog on anything? Put the slobbering hog there, man. Anything. Like, why the... Oh, I hate that logo so much. I hate it. It's garbage. And we all know it. It's disgusting. Could improve his play calling. Sure. Yeah, sure. I agree. The slobbering hog is just dead sexy. I'm sorry. Now, I guess because we've gone so long without it until they put Nolan's name on the court, now it's like when you see it, or when I see it, I don't know, it brings back memories, man. Calm thyself. Well, that is the most Shakespearean thing I think I've ever read in our comment section. Excited about next year's class. More excited about this season. I'm telling you, man. This is going to be great. This year's going to be fun. I don't know how far they go, but I love all the new faces. You know, you got one freshman. They're going to rotate. Eric Musselman said I think he's keying in on 8 players. I think it's what he wants to rotate every game, and that sounds about right. But they can go 11 deep easy. So I'm really excited. But, yeah, don't forget tonight, SEC Network Plus, if you're going to catch it. I will be here. I'm going to do a post-game show tonight for that. So, yeah. We'll talk about what we've witnessed. But what'd I say? Did I say 7:30? If I did, it's 7 p.m. Bud Walton. So, yeah. I do like the kicks. I just hate the forward-facing hog. So, again, going over the college football, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier or not, but your updated college football playoff poll when it comes to the SEC, that's Georgia, Bama, Ole Miss. So Georgia at 1, Bama at 2, Ole Miss at 12, Texas A&M at 16. They went down 5 spots. Arkansas up 4 spots at 21. Mississippi State, they weren't ranked last week. Now they're 25th on the college football playoff poll. All right, John Ridgeway has accepted an invite to the Reese's Senior Bowl. He's the only one so far. Like I said, Myron Cunningham, Mo Brown, any of the linebackers, there's going to be more. There's no way they're done, right? Like, I think, if I remember right, they do go through all 12 games. The Senior Bowl has an unprecedented level of success as a showcase for NFL draft prospects. Last year alone, Senior Bowl alumni represented a whopping 41% of the total selections in the NFL draft. That's amazing. In fact, 36 of 106 total drafted players who played in the Senior Bowl were selected within the first 3 rounds. As a result, receiving a Senior Bowl invite is kind of a big deal. And I got that from a website, football. Let me scroll up. Pro Football Network. Who wrote this article? Oliver Hodgkinson. He published that this morning. So far, he is the only one. And I'm looking at it. There's not a lot of SEC representation at the moment. Zachary Carter from Florida. Good grief. Damian Pierce, running back from Florida. Well, Florida's got several. Jeremiah Moon from Florida, and then John Ridgeway. So I'm pretty sure they're definitely going to add more names to this list. There's no way that's it, right? There's no way. Since its inception in 1950, the Senior Bowl has been a pivotal part of the NFL draft process. In recent years, it has earned the reputation as the premier college football all-star game. The announcement of accepted Senior Bowl invites has become recognized as the green flag of NFL draft season as part of our ongoing NFL draft cover. Oh, this is their website. Blah, 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 blah. So far, that's your 2022 invites. Yeah, they're going to add more, surely. So, they go on to talk about how they make their selections. All right. So grading this year, I keep saying that, not grading. Looking at these 10 games through the year, I think it's pretty important to look at the thing that stands out the most to me, without a doubt, has been KJ Jefferson's improvement. Without KJ, you are not staring at 8-4. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. And last year when we saw, and I feel like I can say this pretty confidently, last year what we saw against Mizzou was a sign of things to come. The offense, at least it did against Mizzou, who was a pretty salty defense, by the way. It operated much faster. It operated more efficiently with KJ Jefferson at quarterback. I don't think there's any doubt. But when you look through the 10 games, there's still some issues, right? Still got 2 more games to go. Well, technically 3 if you count the bowl game, whatever bowl game that is. But I got to say, through these 10 games, the biggest improvement has been KJ. Boy, it shows how important Dalton Wagner is, that offensive line, too. When you got him back, you felt so much more comfortable what he's capable of doing in terms of just being a pure blocker. But, yeah, and I would have to argue Mo Brown through 10 games has been spectacular. And it's been – and he's not the only one. Ridgeway, by coming here, has improved his draft stock dramatically. He wasn't going to get drafted where he was at before. But you look at him now, he's possibly – I mean, he was given a grade by Todd McShay as one of the top 5 players at the defensive line spot. Dude, that's second round. And we talked about it on Monday and in the postgame show a little bit, if I remember correctly. But John Ridgeway clearly, I mean, he's playing on an entirely different level these last several weeks. And it shows. Most of the defensive line, I mean, again, they're playing better. I still think they're probably talent-wise one of the bottom 5 SEC defensive lines. But it's not entirely their fault, right, when you run this 3-man front as much as they have. Like I said at the beginning of the show, they've run a 3-man front, 90% of the year? You know, and what you're asking Ridgeway to do is to absorb double teams, to absorb those blocks and to allow linebackers to shoot gaps, right? Read, react, make the play where the play's happening. And Ridgeway is the anchor to that. And he has just improved. We're no longer seeing him completely disappear in games. The first half of the season, it's like, yeah, he was good for a play or two, making a big play. And I said, too, what I loved about him that stood out to me the most was how well he moved for someone that size. You remember how we used to talk about that with Daniel Gafford? I remember talking about Daniel Gafford like, man, this guy could play. This guy would be a really, if you just, I mean, I don't know his size, but he moved so well for someone his size. I'm not saying that Ridgeway moves like Daniel Gafford, but again, when you consider the position, his size, his weight, his frame, that dude gets around pretty quickly on the line of scrimmage. He's also really good even when he's catching a double team. If a run is coming in his direction, I've seen him wrap his big old meat hook around the running back and hold the running back and pull him back to the line of scrimmage. He's just a big, raw interior defensive lineman. And I think that's what McShay's seeing. I think he has the tools. We'll see when he gets the because he's getting a combine invite now. It's not surprising to me that he's getting a Senior Bowl invite. Not surprising in the least, considering what he's done these last 2 or 3 weeks. And he's not disappearing. You remember we used to complain about that all the time. I used to sit here in front of this camera and tell you guys, where does he go in the second half? He's good for a couple of really good plays in the first half, and then he just disappears. So we're seeing him play so much better. And it's not like he was bad at the beginning of the year. I think he was definitely an SEC starter. But now he's showing he's something more than just your typical SEC starting interior defensive lineman. Wouldn't shock me either if he gets the first or second team all SEC bid. It wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, he has become a force. Now, Trey Williams has had moments. I wish we had more of them, right? And he's had a bumpy ride through these 10 games. The secondary, through 10 games, they have dropped back a little bit. They have dropped back, but for the first, 7 weeks, I think, they're one of the top 10 secondaries in terms of stats, on the field stats. One of the better secondaries in the SEC. And that was after playing teams that throw the ball all over the field. That was after playing Ole Miss. It was after the Georgia debacle. They are right now, trying to pull it up here. This is why it's key to have it pulled up before you go live. Where is passing offense? There it is, passing yards allowed. Where did Arkansas drop to? I actually haven't looked at this week. They dropped back to 24th, so they have dropped significantly over the last couple of weeks. But and that's considerable, you know. That's a pretty big drop. But at the same time, you got to consider they played Mississippi State, who's probably one of the top 2 passing offenses in the SEC. But all things considered, through 10 games, being a top 25 pass defense is pretty impressive. We'll see how they do this weekend against Bama. But I've been pretty impressed with the secondary most of the year. And we also have to consider Mo Brown had been playing banged up. Ladarius Bishop missed time. You guys know how I feel about Hudson Clark. I'm not a big fan. He's capable of, I think he's a willing participant when it comes to tackling. I'd have no problem moving him to safety. But you put him in man coverage, and I think it's why we've seen so much zone. Because I feel like Barry Odom knows there are a couple of guys on that defense who struggle, defending in man coverage. And he's definitely one of them. And I think he's an okay zone cover guy. We know that he last year he had one really big game last year against Ole Miss. But and you probably don't win that game without him. But at the same time, he's a liability in man coverage. He's a liability even in any coverage. It doesn't matter. He's a liability. So, but you consider the injuries you've had in the secondary. Obviously, not having Catalon. That sucks. And it was noticeable. But then look at Slusher. He's just getting better and better week in and week out. Week in and week out. And consider how much time he's played. Not much at all. Consider how much movement he's had to deal with since being even when he was healthy, going through spring camp and then fall camp, and then of course he got dinged up. I think if I remember right, he got hurt towards the end of fall camp. I could be wrong on that. But they've moved him around, and Slusher he's figuring it out. I feel like I made a mistake. I said I felt like Catalon's back. I completely missed this tweet. He posted on the 13th on game day, Razorback Nation will be in good hands with Miles Slusher. Keep balling. Yeah, if that's not the most telling tweet I've ever seen, I don't know what is. I don't think Catalon comes back. And that sucks because I don't know. There are several pretty big boards that don't even have him as a anywhere near the first round. I think he would benefit more. You always want more film. He doesn't have a lot of film. He missed time last year through a 10-game schedule. He missed quite a bit of time for targeting and other stuff last year. And then this year, he's missed the entire second half of the season. I don't know that you have enough film that you take him in the first round, and then you consider his size, right? I get him. Look, maybe being a second round is attractive to him. I don't know. I think if he were to come back, and that's also a risk. We have to acknowledge that. That's a risk. He comes back next year and he gets hurt again. I think he's been hurt like every year he's been here. Or he's dealt with some injury in one form or another. And he's right. I do think even if he leaves, I'm digging what I'm seeing out of Catalon. I really am. Or excuse me, Slusher. I'm digging what I'm seeing out of Slusher. That diving interception was nice, man. And he has, in his short amount of time on the field, remember, he's a true sophomore. He has, I think it's 1 fumble recovery, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 picks. Don't ask me to count how many games he's been involved in. I don't know that number. It's not very many. And yet he's an impact player. Yeah, he's had some busted coverage problems when he came back in back-to-back games. But now back-to-back games he's not. He's not had busted coverage. He probably will. You're about to play 2 really good offenses. Mizzou, say what you want about them. They've got a pretty interesting situation on that offensive side of the ball that's going to test Arkansas' secondary. And we know what Alabama can do, so it wouldn't shock me if he gets beat downfield. He probably will. Probably more than once in these next 2 weeks. I don't know, but he always seems to be where the ball's at in terms of, forcing takeaways and things of that nature. I think he's a special player, and if he can continue on this path, you think about his development, through the offseason, and if he could stay healthy, Slusher could be an absolute weapon for Arkansas next year. So maybe he absorbs that loss to some degree of Catalon. I do think, again, it's a tough situation. Me personally, I would probably want to come back for my junior season for more film, for more film. because I don't know that he gets taken in the first round or not. But yeah, through 10 games though, this Razorback football team has been special, man. I mean, they really have. You've done a lot of things here that you haven't done in a while. You're in the conversation. You're no longer at the back end when you're talking about the better teams in the SEC. You're no longer like, who cares about the Razorbacks? I guarantee you Saban's taking them seriously. And Mizzou's probably dreading having to play us. Again, you're 7-3, fifth in the SEC West. You struggled early on against Rice, and then you came out and responded in the second half. You beat the living shit out of a really not so good, well, terrible Texas Longhorn team. I'll give you that. But you beat A&M, and you have at least a couple of quality wins under your belt. It's been a pretty special year. Cam, there's a reason why I put him on the cover, man. I didn't think I'd be saying this. He's not just one of the best freshman kickers in college football. He's got to be in the conversation for one of the top 20 at least. What's the kickers award? Is he on that list? He should be. This kid's been outstanding. Little has been outstanding. And oh yeah, by the way, he's a freshman, a true freshman. This year, the difference has been, without a doubt, special teams. And they got better as the season went on. Special teams got better and better. They're making fewer mistakes, and now maybe they have a weapon in punt return now. Maybe, and you feel pretty confident Cam Little's going to be automatic, or as close to automatic as you can be as a kicker in the SEC, dealing with these hostile crowds. You feel like he's pretty automatic at like 40, 45 yards. Arkansas hasn't said that in a while, and you've seen them just get better in all facets of special teams, which is hard to believe I'm saying that. And they still they're probably still going to get penalized on when they try to bring their punt team out. Punt team makes me nervous. Punt coverage doesn't make me nervous, but the punt team getting out there and not having to call a timeout or get flagged seems like that's happened. It's just happened too much. Defense has had a bumpy ride through 2021. It's been up and then down. It looks like maybe they're coming back up, but now they're about to play a really good offense in their own backyard against the Crimson Tide. Then you got to play Mizzou. I mean, Mizzou's capable of racking up some yards too. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it against Missouri. You guys know how I do things here. I'm not going to talk about that game until that Friday, but these two last games are going to be real big tests for this defense. So we'll see how they respond. But color me impressed with what Sam Pittman has done year two and so far through these first 10 games. I don't know when someone asked me what's the best win so far in your opinion, and I'd have to say the A&M win. I know everyone wants to brag about the Texas game, and it's not because they're bad or anything. It is a rivalry. I still think that those two sides do still hate each other. Some of the I've talked to OG Texas fans, and they talk about, well, I remember back in 60, blah, blah, blah. They'll tell me how much they hate the Razorbacks. Back in his day when he was in grade school or when she was in high school and she remembers painting a big X. Some woman told me years ago she painted a big X. She bought a shirt with a Razorback and put a big X over, like how much hatred they had for the Razorbacks. I get that rivalry, and yeah, it was a nice win. It probably is. It's like 1A, 1B, but beating A&M to me was so huge. I think A&M today, by today's standards, is a bigger rivalry than Texas, only because of the losing streak, because of how close these games have meant, or how close they've been over the years. You look at that nice 3-game win streak you had over them, and then they turn around and beat you all those years in a row, and you finally break that streak. It felt like change is finally here. And I don't know. It's like you broke the lock to this gate that's been holding you back, and it's been this damn A&M game. And you broke the lock, and look what's happened since. Yeah, you've had some disappointing losses, but you're looking at an 8-4, a possible. I'm telling you, I'm not chalking Mizzou up as an automatic win right now. I'm not doing it. I don't care if that game's in Fayetteville, Little Rock, at their place, neutral site. I'm not calling that game an automatic win for the Razorbacks right now. I know their defense, the run defense, I get it, but I'm just saying. But that game to me, I think A&M is more important to me this year in terms of the most meaningful wins. Yeah. And I've been to a Texas-Arkansas game. I went to the one in, when was that, 04? When they lost by 2 points. We snapped the ball over the punter's head. I was there. Me and my dad were there, sat right next to a whole group of drunk Longhorn fans in the Longhorns section, in their opposing fans section. It was terrible. Oh, I get it. And those guys told me, back when we were in high school, I heard the stories. I get it, man. All the OGs love to talk about their hatred of the Razorbacks and vice versa. But A&M to me today is a bigger rivalry. Now, maybe that'll change with Texas joining the SEC, and I'm sure it will. Automatically, it'll flip like a switch once they join the SEC. Razorback fans are going to be licking their chops for that one. But right now, until they join, to me, A&M is the biggest rivalry for the Razorbacks. More so than LSU, although LSU is pretty close. They are. But you have such history with A&M, right, in the old Southwest Conference days. All right. Yeah, I've been really impressed. I'll say that. These 10 games, don't get me wrong, defense is still got a lot to prove to me. They've got a lot to prove to me. I'm still not sold on the defensive line being elite. I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on the linebacker depth. I don't know that we've solved that question over these 10 games, and I'm not sure that you were going to anyways unless someone got banged up, God forbid. We have seen Andrew Parker. We've seen Woodward, the other walk-on. We've seen them a little bit. Woodward mostly on special teams. But I don't know that I feel much better if they lose Poole after this year that you're in great shape. Well, you're not. Even with Poole, you're still thin there at linebacker. I'm still hopeful for the secondary. I've come back off, like I said earlier in the show, they've done a really good job. The improvement over the season, and it's been a bumpy ride for the secondary as well, but mostly they've been a top 10 legit secondary in the country. They've done a great job. And then Mississippi State tore them a new one in the second half. Ole Miss kind of did whatever they wanted, but not really through the air. Just however they could score on you, they were able to do it, and it looked too easy. And I think that's just Lane Kiffin doing what he's doing at Ole Miss. He's doing that to everybody. But the defense still has a long ways to go. But again, the secondary, I'm still high on them. I'm still excited. We still got some guys that we haven't heard from. And I think the future's still bright there, but how bright? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. We still owe Auburn. We do owe Auburn. I agree with that. Cam is number 9 kicker in the nation stat-wise right now. Man, I can't wait for A&M to travel to Fayetteville. That needs to happen. Jameson Williams from Bama. Holy cow, RD better wrap up. Mm-hmm. Yep. The more success at Slush, the more success that Slush, the more I think Catalan is gone. I think he's gone regardless. I really do. I don't think he's coming back. I think he's done. Slusher and Rouser is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, Rouser's he's going to the All-American Bowl. You think Trey has the best game? I hope so. Yeah, I agree. Trey could use another year, and I don't know if he has another year of eligibility or not. I've kind of heard mixed signals on that. What's the status of Razorback soccer? I have no idea. I don't follow soccer at all. Every time Busta Brown makes a play, in my head I hear the phrase "bust it." The first sound okay, all right. And then finally, what did Tarl say? Where'd it go? Scrolling down. Oh, Sam Pittman was talking potential super seniors for next year. I would love to have Ridgeway, Poole, Fouché, and Brown back. I don't think Mo Brown has any eligibility back. I think he was a maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't think he has another year of eligibility though. Well, if he does, oh my gosh, you got to get him back. Holy crap. I feel a lot better about Catalan leaving after seeing what Slush has done the last few games. Yeah. Game's starting to slow down for him big time. He's settled down, and I don't want to try to, beat a fart out of a dead horse, but he's settled down once they figured out we're just going to leave him here. He's gotten healthier. Now, if you lose him, you're in trouble. I'll say that. Cat should go, but not hire. Let's see. Cat should go, but not hire an agent until he is happy with being. I don't think that's how it works. I think once you accept, even without an agent, I'm pretty sure if you go to the combine, I think you're locked in. I'm not sure how that works. I know basketball, it's that way. If you hire an agent, you're out. Like, you can't come back. Which is so stupid. I'm sorry. That is the dumbest rule. Like, okay, you hired an agent, big deal. We're in the age of NIL. Like, that stuff is going to go away. You watch. Give it the next 2-3 years. NIL stuff's going to go away. Or, I mean, not NIL stuff. The hiring an agent and then not being eligible to come back, that's just stupid. Why wouldn't you hire an agent? Why wouldn't you? Okay, look, we think you're somewhere here, and then you don't end up going to that position, then you can come back, right? You should have that option. It's just so stupid to me. The NCAA, I swear. Coach Pitt, Coach of the Year. I'm telling you, man, the work, what he has done this year has been incredible. It really is. He's way ahead of schedule, if you want my opinion. Do they sign NIL contracts without? Yeah, they do. Right? I mean, they take on, because the way that works is, okay, I'm a business. I have, right here, right there it is. I'm a business. This is a business. I could go hire any Razorback I wanted if they wanted, hey, $100, man, $100. Come on my show for $100 and just sit here and nod your head yes for an hour. I'll pay $100 or whatever. None of them would ever do that. But I'm just saying I could offer them that, right? They don't have to have an agent. They don't have to have an agent for that. So why if they're going to go to the pros, and I get that's a little bit different. It's apples and oranges, but still, like, why wouldn't you let a kid to make sure he's getting the best deal possible? And that's the whole reason for hiring an agent, to help you negotiate the deal and figure out, what your worth is and what's on the table for you. I don't understand that. Like, come on, man. Why does it make a difference? It's like they're doing everything they can to actually run these kids off to go play in a paid league that Jeff Bezos is sponsoring. That's what you want to do? Stupid. All right. I do appreciate you guys, Patreon supporters. We're at 21. Are we still at 21, or did we lose any? Did we gain any? I think we're still at 21. And a shout out to you guys who've just joined, and to the OGs who've been on Patreon. Yeah, we're sitting at 21. Kenny Woodard and Ed Hatcher, it looks like, are the newest members. We'll see. I can't wait to see what that looks like when the end of the month comes. But I do appreciate you guys. Sponsors, you guys, you know how it be. Big shout out to the sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, who operate out of Central Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas. They will repair or replace your garage door. Give them a call. That link is provided for you down below in the description box. Also, State Apparel, softest shirts made right here in the beautiful state of Arkansas. State Apparel has a unique shirt just for you from State Pride, funny, sassy, sarcastic, and pop culture. Our shirts are hand printed on premium material that will leave you feeling and looking great. Our store offers something for everyone. Their link is also provided for you down below in the description box. So, I thought Morgan has an agent. I don't think so. I don't think so. Do they? I don't know. I know in basketball, if you hire an agent, you can't come back. Or at least that was the rules as I remember them. Maybe they did change them. Wow, if that's the case, that'll be part of the undoing of the no agent rule, in my opinion. Yeah, like I said, I could call up. I don't know if you have to go through the university, but I'm sure you do. You can't just hit up a player in DMs. You hit up the university, you get the permission to talk to the player, and then you just say, hey, I'm looking for an NIL deal. I want to talk. And then I think that you probably have to go through a process through the university, and then they get you in contact with the player. That would be my guess. Again, I don't know this. And then you say, hey, look, I've got a business. I have a YouTube channel, and it's actually called Pig Trail Media. But the show is called Pig Trail Network. Almost forgot my channel name. And I want you to come stand next to me, or come sit next to me and just nod for an hour. I mean, I'm just using that as an example. Or just, I don't know, slap me across the back of the head or something every 10 minutes. And and it's up to them to agree or disagree. Why can they not hire an agent? Why does that matter? I've just never understood that, man. That's just not how that should work. So anyways, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure someone will disagree. That's fine. I'll do that for you, Ty. I'm sure there's a few people that would love to hit me. That's okay. All right. That is it. I do appreciate you guys. Remember, game tonight. There will be a post-game show. Looking forward to it. I mean, yeah, obviously I'm taking the Hogs. I don't know. It should be a game you blow these guys out of the water, but we've also seen them it's kind of been a roller coaster of an off. Well, you talk about the exhibition games and then your opening game. We'll see if they can build off their last game. And if so, yeah, they should win by, 15, 20 points or whatever. But hopefully get a big enough lead and he can kind of continue to experiment with different rotations. But I'm looking for them to have a good night. So I'll see you guys here tonight in the postgame show. If you're unable to make the postgame show, I'll be live on Friday at 11 a.m. We'll have this time, I swear to God, I'll remember to do my score. I did pick Arkansas over LSU, by the way, last week. 8-2 on my picks. 8-2, baby. 8-2 on my picks for the Hogs this year. Pretty proud of that. And I did at the beginning of the year pick them to go 8-4. But yeah, so if you can't make tonight, we'll be live Friday, 11 a.m. And we'll break this thing down. We'll probably talk more about what we see tonight on Friday's show as well, but probably won't be as in depth. But you know how these post games go. They're always fun, a lot of emotion involved, and it's going to be a blast. So anyways, all right, I'll see you guys tonight and the rest of you on Friday morning. Woo Pig Suey, go Hogs.